Hey beautiful, I am Esther. Welcome to my channel. Before we get started, I want you to know that you are absolutely beautiful inside and out and worthy of every single good thing. Today we are talking about lips. This is something that I hear from a lot of people that they struggle with having thin lips. Their lips aren't as full as they want, but they don't want to get fillers, things like that. So as we age, our lips naturally thin out. But even if you are young, you can still struggle with wanting fuller lips. So I am going to give you several tips today, both skincare related and makeup related, that can give your lips a much fuller appearance. So let's jump right in. Number one on my list is to drink more water. You will probably hear me say this in every video, and I know it gets old, but I promise you, the more water you drink, the better your skin, hair, everything will look and feel. So that is number one. Number two, I want you to make sure that you are protecting your lips in the sun, because sun damage definitely will not help you to have fuller looking lips. Next up, you can take a collagen supplement. I recommend a liquid form if possible, otherwise a powder, because they do absorb better into your body. But taking a collagen supplement, again, will affect your skin, nails, hair, joints, really everything. It's good for you all around, but that will certainly not hurt your cause when going for fuller lips. Now on to actual lip care. Number one on that list is to exfoliate. So I have these exfoliators by e.l.f. They are my favorite. I strongly prefer an exfoliator that comes in this type of packaging versus one that I have to use my fingers for. So I really like these, the brown sugar, and I want to say this is the rose one. Oh, sweet cherry. Okay. These are my two favorites because they have the most coarse exfoliants in them. Some of them are more fine and they just don't do quite as good of a job of exfoliating. So I recommend these. They're literally $4 a piece, and they truly do the best job of any exfoliator I have ever found. You can do this every single night before bed, especially during a winter season, or if you live in a drier climate or you're visiting a drier climate. My lips are very, very dry right now, and I try to do this very frequently. Anytime you notice dry or dead skin on your lips, for sure do this, but don't just limit it to that. You can do this every single night. Your lips can handle more exfoliation than the rest of the skin on your face. So simply take this, dampen your lips, scrub away, and then wipe it away with a washcloth. And not only do they exfoliate, but they will leave your lips actually hydrated because of the oil that is in them. The next thing is to use a nighttime lip mask. My very favorite is by Laneige. It is the lip sleeping mask, and it is truly wonderful. It comes in a ton of different flavors. I always say flavors, scents, whatever you want to call it. But this is the vanilla, and this is probably my favorite just for all year round. But all of them smell really good. You don't need a lot. I've had this for well over 6 months, and I still have lots left, probably half the container left. So I put it on every single night before bed, and it's just going to give you that overnight hydration instead of letting your lips dry out while you're sleeping. The next thing that I do, and that I strongly recommend, because the primary goal here is to hydrate your lips, to get as much hydration as you possibly can into your lips to plump them. So every morning when I wake up, I use this lip balm. This is the Je ne sais quoi lip balm by It Cosmetics. This is my favorite as far as just general hydration. It is a great balm. It's very hydrating. It's kind of on the thicker side without being like sticky or heavy or anything like that. I put this on when I wake up in the morning. If I'm not wearing makeup, I just reapply it throughout the day. Otherwise, I wear it while I'm getting ready before I put any other lip products on, because it just gives me an extra dose of hydration. Oftentimes when I wake up, I still have quite a bit of this on my lips, which is fabulous. But of course, as you eat and brush your teeth and get ready for the day, that is going to kind of come off. So then I replace it during the day with this, just because this is a little bit more heavy for during the day. If your lips are very, very dry, again, if it's winter time or you're in a very dry climate and you need extra hydration, you absolutely can use this during the day, and it works just fine. It's heavier, so it's something that you would typically put on at night, but really you have to do what's best for you. Another thing I recommend is that after you exfoliate, whether at night or in the morning whenever you are doing it, to use a hyaluronic acid serum. So get all the dead skin off, prepare it to absorb moisture, and then take any hyaluronic acid serum that you can find. I'm not going to recommend a specific one because in this case it's as long as the quality of the product is good, it doesn't really matter what brand you use, but something with hyaluronic acid in it. Tap that onto your lips, let it soak in for maybe a minute or two, and then add a balm over it. So if you're doing this in the morning, add a balm like this, and if you're doing it at night, coat it with this. It's just really going to plump your lips, and if you also use one with collagen in it, it's going to encourage them to plump as well. If you are just going for a basic look and you don't want to put on liner and lipstick and things like that, I have a couple of products that I want to recommend to you that are plumping. So you can just put them on by themselves, but they are plumping. My favorite tinted balm is by Milk Makeup, and it is the Kush Lip Balm. I buy these several at a time because I use them so often. So they are a tinted balm. This one is the darkest color. They also have one that is, it looks green, but it goes on your lips clear. And then they have a few different colors. It is about $18, so it's not an inexpensive product, but it is a really great one because it gives your lips kind of just a wash of color without being a lipstick or a plain balm with no color. It's just kind of a wash of color, but you don't have to look in the mirror to put it on, and it's naturally plumping and it feels so nice on your lips. The second one I want to recommend to you is by Buxom. It is their Power Plump Lip Balm, and it comes in this huge tube. As you can see, it's massive. Again, this is a tinted balm. I really like this one too. Probably my favorite is the Milk, but I honestly love them both. So again, this is just a tinted one, so it's going to give you a wash of color. It's thick and fat and lasts forever. And I think it's around the same price. The third and my absolute favorite lip product, hands down of all time as far as like a daily wear thing, is also by Buxom, and you can clearly see that this is almost gone. I'm scraping the bottom. I probably have this in 12 or 14 different colors, and it comes in a cream and a gloss. Both are very plumping. It's not the uncomfortable tingle plumping where you just like want to take it off your lips. It's not painful, but I can truly see and feel when I put this on that my lips are noticeably more plump, and it's very hydrating. It's not going to dry your lips out. It's not super sticky. It doesn't feel heavy. You can apply it without a mirror. So it is honestly my favorite lip product of all time. I wear it almost every single day, and I absolutely love it. They have plain clear if you just want clear. They have lots of more heavily tinted creams and glosses. They have, I don't know, probably between the two, 60 or 80 different colors, so you are definitely going to find one that you love. But if you take nothing else from this video, let it be to exfoliate and use this Buxom gloss because it is truly fabulous, and those two things alone will make a difference. Moving on to just a couple of things that you can do makeup wise to make your lips look more full. I am going to demonstrate to you how to do this because I want to give you a visual, because this isn't a super basic putting on a gloss. It takes a tiny bit more time, but it's not hard to do and anyone can do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is wipe off the balm that I have on right now because we want to start with a dry base, and then I'm going to take a lip liner. If you're going for a more natural look, get yourself a nude or a pink that is a little bit darker than your lip color. Now, I don't have a very defined lip line. I know a lot of people do. Mine is kind of blurry. It kind of just blends into my skin. So this is going to help to define that. What we are going to do is we're going to take this lip liner and we are going to go one line thickness around the outside of my natural lip line. So I am just barely over drawing, okay? You do not want to go crazy with this because it will not look natural, but I am basically putting the top of this liner onto the bottom of my natural lip line and over drawing only by the tiniest little bit, but it does make a difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I do that. This is a tiny bit darker than I remember it, but in this case it's going to work because we are going to use lipstick. If you are only doing this in a balm or a tinted balm, I would get a little closer to your lip color if possible. Now, one thing I will say is you don't want to overdraw in the corners because that is going to be very noticeable. So coming down to just a little bit left of your lip, you're going to want to go right on your natural lip line in that corner. Now I left the middle empty because I want to show you this part. Right here in your little Cupid's bow, you want to overline a little bit, but instead of going down to a point, you want to make it a little bit more rounded. So this is the part of your lip where the fullness is going to really show. So again, without overdoing it, this is the only part of your lip I'm going to recommend that you overdraw a tiny bit more than the rest of what we've been doing on our lip. As far as lip liners, you do not need to spend a lot. I know ColourPop has some great ones, which is a drugstore brand. You can buy it online or at Ulta. But find one that is creamy and comfortable to wear, that doesn't feel like you're wearing it, that's not going to get dried out during the day. I love the It Cosmetics one. Of course, it's going to be more pricey because it's not a drugstore brand. But like I said, I know a lot of people love ColourPop, and I'm sure there are other great ones out there. So in this part, like I said, we're going to overdraw just a little bit more than we did on the rest of the lip and make it a little more rounded as opposed to being kind of a sharp area, if that makes sense. Okay, now the next step in our process is we are going to add a bit of lipstick. I think it's called Pillow Cream Lipstick by It Cosmetics. Again, I just love the formula. There are millions of good lipsticks out there. You do not have to spend a lot. You can use a drugstore one. I just picked this because of the color. It's a little bit darker than the liner, but it's kind of a neutral color, like a brownish. So what we're gonna do here is we are just going to put this on the outer corners of our lips and then kind of do an ombre effect to blend it in. I know this might sound complicated if you're not used to doing it, but I promise you it is easy and you can do it. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, so start by doing about this much. We look crazy now, but I promise it will look better in a minute. You're going to do about this much of the outside of your lips, and then you can use a brush or a sponge if you want to. I just use my finger, and I'm just going to kind of blend this in so it looks like a more natural ombre effect. So now you can see that really the very center of my lip is the only place I don't have color. The last thing we're going to do is take this Buxom gloss that I talked about, and we are going to apply that basically the opposite of what we did the lipstick. So putting the majority in the center of the lip and then working it out just a tiny bit. I'm taking this in a nude color and I'm going to apply it right to the center of my lips. And then take that same finger and just tap it out a little bit to the outer portion of your lips. I never go all the way to the corners, but I do try to get high up on my Cupid's bow to give the most fullness. Now, I don't know how well you can see this, but my lips are drastically more full looking than they were when we started. So this is a great technique. Like I said, it may take a little bit of practice, but anyone can do this, and as soon as you've done it a couple different times, you will be an old pro at it. So this is probably the best tip I have for you as far as makeup itself. Of course, all of that skincare and body care is always going to be number one on my list, but this is a great way to make your lips more full just by giving that illusion. The last thing I want to mention makeup wise is to use a highlighter. So any highlighter that you have is just fine, and taking a little bit of it on a brush, just run it across the top of your Cupid's bow. And then you can take a little bit and pull it up right here on these two little spots here, and just putting a dab there and at the top of your lip, again, is doing basically the same thing that the gloss is doing by making it look more plump and more full. Even if you don't have thick lips at all, if your lips are very, very fine, you can still do all of these things and still have it look great. You are not gonna look crazy, you're not gonna look like a clown or like you overdid your makeup. I did choose colors that were a little bit more bold, but you can do this with completely neutral colors. Take 1 or 2 shades darker than your natural lip color, and you're not even gonna look like you're wearing lip product like I I do right now. I just chose these because this is what I had to use, and I wanted to show you something that was going to be visible. But you can absolutely go to Target, go to Walgreens, go to Walmart, pick up a couple of products from the drugstore, and use those products to achieve the same effect. The 2 products that I've mentioned that I would recommend actually spending the money on, because there are so many things that you can spend your money on. Many things can just be bought at the drugstore. The 2 things I would say are really worth the money are the Laneige lip mask, and this runs about $20, but it will last you a full year. And then the other thing is the Buxom Gloss. Now these little tiny ones just came in a set, so I got several of them, but the full size bottles are about double this size, and even though I use it daily, I can make one of those last for several months as well. So those are the 2 things that I think are truly worth your money. I will say that the Kush lip balm, if you are a tinted lip balm person, or if you want something just a tiny bit extra above and beyond your regular lip balm, which I recommend you wear all the time, that is something you have to be careful about cheaping out on, because when you buy like the chapstick brand, I know people love it, but if you actually look into what is in those, a lot of times those cheaper chapsticks, they're actually not good for your lips, and they can have the opposite effect. They can actually make them more dry. So just be careful that you're buying something with good products in it, and I'll let you research that on your own. But if you do want a good tinted lip balm, I definitely would say that this is worth the money as well. So I just want to make sure that you know that a lip liner, a lipstick, things like that, you can buy those anywhere and be just fine. But these products that are truly plumping and hydrating and really good for your skin and your lips are definitely worth spending the money on, in my opinion. So hopefully all of these tips were helpful in helping you to get plumper lips and give the illusion of more full lips. I know that this is something a lot of people struggle with, especially as we age. So hopefully you found these tips helpful. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications bell, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Don't forget to love yourself and others today. Bye.